Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me today is Sriram Seshadri. We have a lot of folding events, unfolding events, if you want to call them, in Tamil Nadu. There is the festival that is coming up, Murugan festival coming up in 2 days. But the crowd that gathered today was mind-blowing, or yesterday was mind-blowing. So let's discuss with Sriramji the implications of this and other stuff that's happening in Tamil Nadu. Namaskaram, sir. How are you?
Sir, namaskaram. I'm good, and then hope you are doing well. Namaskaram to all the PGurus viewers.
Sir, I'm doing very well. Thanks for your kind inquiries and viewers. He has been very busy. Sriramji was not able to make it last week, but he's back today. And again, every week at Saturday, 9 o'clock English and 10 o'clock Tamil, we are discussing different topics. Sir, let us start with Congress's lies. They're getting a little desperate, aren't they?
So Congress always peddles lies. We all know that. There is no news about it. But let me just take, I was just compiling few of the lies that they were doing in the last 2 weeks. And then, it's a mind-blowing, and, they want to project as if India's foreign policy is a disaster. I just want to call out 3-4 lies, and then what are the sources of it? Maybe 5 lies, and there are more than that, because the moment Rahul Gandhi, Jairam Ramesh, Pawan Khera or Supriya Trinet open their mouth, it is a full of lies. Someone has to go overdrive on the fact check, and then when you find out, it is a lie. So let me just call out few other things. Latest one to talk about G7. First, they said Canada did not want to invite India for the G7 meet. There is a source. Did Canada announce that, or any official from Canada say that they are averse to bringing Modi or India, inviting India? I'm just not going to talk about Modi here. It is India, because the nation participates is based on the country, not because of it is just the one individual. And on the day, and then what happened? Canadian Prime Minister, talked to Prime Minister Modi, and then extended a personal invitation for G7.
Sir, I think you meant 𝗠𝗏𝗏, Mark 𝗠𝗏𝗏.
𝗠𝗏𝗏. Yeah, 𝗠𝗏𝗏. Yeah, I said Canadian Prime Minister. Didn't say the name. So
Canadian Prime Minister. Got it. I understood as Kennedy. So sorry.
Kennedy. Yeah, sure. Okay. So, and then they invite, even if he didn't want to invite for whatever reasons, because of the Khalistani pressure or whatever, the rest of the nations demanded that without India, this meeting cannot go. I think that is the power of India today, whether one likes it or not, whether Congress likes it or not. On the day of the meet, there was a fake news tweet that came about, and then they deleted. I couldn't save that tweet, otherwise I would have posted it here. Said that, the Indian Prime Minister was invited to the meet, but he was not invited to the stage. They put up the photo, and then, carefully photoshopped to remove Modi's image from there, and then, posted this. This is the level of stooping to the level of, I still believe, Sree Iyerji, the deep state is extremely active, or the deep state which funded the Indian entities, the 0.5 front, they are still grateful that, they got their livelihood for the last 10-15 years, and then they are peddling this news. And the moment someone peddles this news, Jairam Ramesh comes on, press meet, and then, takes that news forward. So, first lie, fake news busted, that, India was invited. Prime Minister Modi was in the dais, in the photograph. So, the first lie busted. The second, on the 9th of June, there was one lie that was peddled. Saudi Arabia stopped giving work visa to 14 nations, including India. Okay. What did actually Saudi Arabia do? Saudi Arabia temporarily stopped giving visa for a short-term visa during the Hajj season, which is normal. It happens every year. It's not just now. For several years, because of the overcrowding during the Hajj season, so they stopped giving visas. People who had there are certain quotas that they give it to individual countries, and then beyond that they don't give any other tourist visa, they don't give any other work visa, nothing, because they wanted to avoid overcrowding. So did Saudi Arabia announce that the work permits are withheld, especially for India? Nothing. There's no source for the truth. And then they say foreign policy disaster. The third lie, once again, Russia inked $2.6 billion deal with Pakistan. Russia didn't announce it. Even Pakistan did not announce it. As a state of Pakistan, at least if they had done that announcement, one can understand. And if Pakistan does it, at least, there is a reason, or Pakistani handles peddles this lies and fake news, one can understand, they want to project that their country is, so many supporters are, including Russia, which is a staunch supporter of India, supporting. But why is Congress peddling this fake news? 2.6 billion, and then Russia had to come to the press conference and then say that, debunk this. They issued a statement, and then they actually thrashed the statement, saying, to be very frank, and then said that this is a lie. I want to talk about on 14th June. There was a lie that was once again peddled, saying that Field Marshal Mullah Munir of Pakistan was invited for the America's army parade. White House did not issue the statement. Pakistan did not issue the statement. Mullah Munir did not issue the statement saying that I am honored to receive an invitation to participate in this. Finally, White House had to come and throw eggs on the face of Congress and all these fake news peddlers to say that no foreign military personnel has been invited for this event. So they had to be very, very categorical with respect to Mullah Munir not being invited. The final one I want to talk about is Iran war, Israel-Iran war. Nearly 10,000 to 15,000 Indians are stranded in Iran. And, as usual, India gets its air passage. When Russia-Ukraine, conflict happened, immediately, this is the picture. Thanks for bringing in. Thanks, Sachin. You are able to get this picture done. During Ukraine-Russia war, India managed to do a short period of few hours of ceasefire and then bring all our students back from Russia, Ukraine to India. Likewise, in Iran, India is the only country which gets an air passage to bring their nationals to India, especially the students. Of course, we'll talk about a little bit of controversy there also. But what did India say? If any individual who have their own means to leave the country, please use that option so that they will be able to bring the rest of the people back to India. Nearly, I think, a few aircraft load of people have already reached India. Set of Kashmiri students who came to India demanded that they be dropped by flight to to their hometown. They didn't want to go from Delhi to Srinagar by bus, and they were very, very disappointed that Indian government couldn't arrange for their commutation to their home. Probably they expected an airstrip to be laid in front of their house and then parachuted or dropped inside their house. Unfortunately, India is not doing that. But last lie I want to talk about that was India did bring or made all efforts to bring its nationals from Iran. See, one can understand one could be a mistake, Sree Iyerji, right? Something like, yeah.
Sriramji, before you finish this thought, I want to also, viewers, something is surprising to me. In Ukraine, there are 25,000 students. To Iran, there are 10,000 students. To China, 30,000 students. So if you have students going by the thousands to all these countries, there's just no way India can afford to bring them back home free. I think what needs to happen is when they get their visa stamp, they need to have some sort of a contribution made to a fund that the government can dip into to pay for the evacuation of these students, and depending on what is available, then there may be a co-payment required. This has to be done as a no-loss operation. It's unfair for the taxpayers to have these people come in free and then complain about it. Sir, I did one 2-minute shorts. Actually, it's part of a longer conversation. I made that into a short. I said that the people of Kashmir Valley needs to stop thinking that they are special. I did this 1 month ago, sir. See the feeling, see the way they are talking, see the way they are behaving. What are they doing in Iran? They're going for religious studies. Come on now. I mean, if you want to pay your money and go and study in other countries, do it for something that will further your career. Madrasas are being strictly supervised now. They are really going into all these things. Don't think that you have the freedom that you had before. You are no longer special. You are the same. Everybody's laws apply the same to everybody. This is becoming the norm now. So I just want to put that thing out there. There has to be a separate fund that will fund this thing, and students will have to pay into that. Why I say that is, if you are going to Ukraine, you may have to pay $1,000. If you are going to, say, United States, you may have to pay $2,000 because the distance is more. You are going to only one university to study. This needs to be done. This has to be done. This is not fair on you and I, the taxpayer, when somebody having flown free then starts complaining about it. Come on now, have some, what do you call, I'm searching for the word here. So some respect for all the people who are patiently, they are thinking you are one of us. It is our responsibility to bring you free. Another thing I want to tell all the students who complain about all these things, no other country does this.
Exactly.
No other country does this. Please, if my son was stuck in Belgrade and there is a conflict there, he would have had to hitch, walk, run, hide, whatever, to come back to United States. Please understand the thing that India is doing. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, you are absolutely right, Sree Iyerji. No other country, when Ukraine, in Ukraine, when Indian students were brought back, in fact, Pakistan, we did bring some students from Pakistan, when Wuhan virus happened, Wuhan virus broke out, and then from China, several students had to be brought home. India brought home some of the Pakistani students too, at our own cost, as a matter of goodwill, because we wanted to bring them back safely to their home. Likewise, in every conflict zone, India is the only country able to exercise its muscle to get a ceasefire, short-term ceasefire. Imagine any country could have imagined, could they have imagined that you can bargain a ceasefire for a few hours when peak of Ukraine-Russia war was happening, allowing for example, Ukraine to reposition themselves and then regroup themselves. Ukraine could have used that opportunity, but we got that window, brought the students out. In Iran, only Indian airplanes are allowed a passage to come in, and maybe during that time Israel also not firing missiles at will. So Indian flight goes in, loads people, takes off, come back. I think 3 aircrafts already flown. I think nearly 400, 500 people would have been brought back here using that, or even 600 people, whatever the number. But I'm saying India is the only country that's able to do that, and no other country, including the might of US, is not able to exercise this privilege. On top of that, I would only end this topic with one statement, Sree Iyerji. Omar Abdullah need to learn from Stalin, because what would Stalin do when Ukraine happened? He formed a 5-member ministerial committee to bring the Tamil Nadu students from Ukraine to India, as if Tamil Nadu was going to operate a full plane load and then do a diplomatic relation with Ukraine. All they did is they went to Delhi, brought the students back to Chennai, asked the students to thank Chief Minister Stalin for bringing them home safely. Omar Abdullah need to learn these tricks really. So he should have gone to arrange some people to go to Delhi, bring their Kashmiri students from Delhi to Srinagar by a flight. That's a pittance of a cost. He could have, government, Jammu Kashmir government could have done that, and then bring the students and ask the students to thank Omar Abdullah. I think, that's where, Omar Abdullah is becoming a more and more a decent politician, and then not learning the politics. I think he should learn from one of their Indie Alliance partners.
Sir, very good, sir. Let's go on to the next topic. So this is something that I have found very strange. So I live in Silicon Valley. I have lived more than half my life in Silicon Valley now. And I can tell you, viewers, no company have I gone where there is at least 2 or 3 people who are there in the meeting who have difficulty speaking English.
Right.
The barrier is only for like 30 seconds, okay? The barrier is only for 30 seconds. Once you understand how that person starts speaking, the accent, once you get the accent out of the way, your mind immediately starts understanding. Because the technical part, everybody knows. You see, maybe you can say, but that's technical part. That's why in startups, everything is new, boss. Even the concepts are new, the dreams are new. But that it all takes is the 30-second thing to understand what the other person's accent is. I commend Prime Minister Modi for speaking in English. He speaks very good English. When I listen to some of the people in the Silicon Valley, everybody is a brilliant engineer. They're all millionaires. And the point I'm trying to make is this is a false equivalence. In fact, the British, not the English people, the British as a ruling clergy, they were specially taught to speak in highfalutin English so that they could always have that stiff, highfalutin air that we are superior, that they practiced amongst their own people. Then these are the people who were sent to the colonies to go and subdue them. But when we started imitating their habits, one of the things that we looked up to was person has to speak English in the Queen's English. We have to speak Queen's English. So I find that utterly nonsensical. Jairam Ramesh should know. If he is advising Rahul Gandhi, Jairam Ramesh should know. He has himself studied abroad. Come on now, man. Try and find something substantive to criticize this government, not this kind of bullshit. Sir, over to you.
So I think what I find it, amusing is, okay, you and I speak English. Is it a Queen's English? Probably, definitely not. Is it like a 𝗪𝗓 Tharoor English? Absolutely not, right? Because when 𝗪𝗓 Tharoor goes on to speak in his own style, even the British people need a dictionary to see what, get the meaning of what he is talking about. So we do have people like 𝗪𝗓 Tharoor, right? But passable English is more than sufficient. And even when you know English, Sree Iyerji, the language command over the land, and I'll tell you 100%, I have seen Mr. Modi conversing in English with many people. He does understand English very much. He speaks English, but the colloquial idioms or some of the quotes or some of the the localized jargons, one need not know. If an American uses certain words or certain phrases, one need not know the real meaning of it, right? So absolutely fine. And he Prime Minister, being a head of the state, will have some translator sitting behind him or beside him, and then translate this or communicate that meaning. English to English also is necessary. Sometimes the accent won't, because sometimes the accent will be a problem. Not everybody will understand. When you talk to a Scottish, forget about, even a Brit will actually find it difficult to understand what a Scottish speaking the English, right? Because the Scottish English pronounces the vowels as vowel. They we pronounce bus as bus. Scottish will say bus.
Bus.
So, because you need to understand that, accent, and then of course American English, when African American speaks versus a white American versus a French American, There are a lot of colonization in the Americans also when they yeah. When Shashi Tharoor speaks, you need an English to English translator, definitely. So I think English is a language, by heaven's sake, and Prime Minister Modi is proud of speaking of the one of the Indian languages and then converses in his own language. And today technology is available for you to translate. That's why, when the three-language controversy came about, Sree Iyerji, in fact, in one of the TV debate, I said, so I don't support three-language as a mandatory one. At the same time, I criticized Tamil Nadu government to make it two-language as a mandatory. When there's a third language policy, new education program came in, actually when all the reviews were happening, new education policy, I did provide a suggestion. It cannot be a mandatory provision by new education policy, and those who want to learn, create a mechanism for them to learn. See, imagine if set of people want to study Kannada, and then set of people Telugu, set of people Malayalam, and then some Hindi. Schools cannot have those many teachers available for, and that's going to be not going to be a cost-effective solution. Instead, create each one of the state have their own language promotion. Say for example, Bharati Tamil Sangam or Tamil Sangam, or Hindi Prachar Sabha. Have a tie-up with them. Whoever wants to study that, incentivize them to study. So that way, the three-language formula can be easily addressed. So this it's a very long topic. I can definitely talk about what my suggestion to that committee which was finalizing a new education policy. But the question is, English is a language, for heaven's sake. And if Macron, French Prime Minister, doesn't speak in English, he speaks only in French, and most of the time Putin never speaks in English. People don't even know whether he understands English. Maybe he may, but
he understands. Yeah. But yes.
But he doesn't speak in English. Japanese prime ministers.
He was in the Foreign Bureau of KGB.
Yeah, KGB.
In Germany, in East Germany, for 5 years or 10 years.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how he rose up through the ranks. Very capable guy. Yeah. Very capable guy. The very interesting thing how he succeeded Yeltsin. Sir, back to you.
Now the question is, people do know English. Not that Macron doesn't know English. He does. But the question is, they want to, talk in their cultural lineage. And, only in India, people are talking about Prime Minister doesn't have a command over English. Okay, let him not have command over English. Does anybody know 𝗣𝗚𝗪𝗏 knew English? Did anybody talk about it when 𝗣𝗚𝗪𝗏 was a Prime Minister, and then was he conversing in English? Heaven said no. But does Sonia Gandhi know the Queen's English? She is from Italy. She is a foreigner. Does she know the Queen's English and all the idioms and phrases that are being used in various countries? No. I think this is a very cheap pot shot that I think Congress cannot stoop to that level. And the people like Jairam Ramesh, who's considered to be an elite intellectual, and maybe because Rahul Gandhi corrupted him. No. Normally the influence is from those who knew to those who did not, but here the other way around, Rahul Gandhi corrupted Jairam Ramesh. People like Jairam Ramesh. Imagine Sree Iyerji, Ghulam Nabi Azad, Anand Sharma. I can go on naming Salman Khurshid nowadays. Intellectuals distanced themselves from Rahul Gandhi nowadays because they wanted to keep their intellectual level intact. They didn't want to corrupt themselves. Today Shashi Tharoor is an outcast in Congress today. I don't know, maybe for few pittance of power and other thing, 𝗪𝐶 Venugopal and Jairam Ramesh sort of people are still sticking on with the coterie of Rahul Gandhi, who seems to be corrupting their intelligence. If you can't raise up to their level, bring them to your level. I think that's what Rahul Gandhi is doing, which is very, very unfortunate. Yes, sir.
Sir, before we go to the last topic, the most interesting one, I have a passage that I wrote in this book, Who Painted My Lust Red? Okay, This is about cricket, IPL, and all the shenanigans that happen. So there is this character called Makar Fantoosh Wayarwala. Okay, and he likes to speak English in a fancy way. Here is a small paragraph I'm going to read. He's trying to patafy a girl, half his age. Succeeding in Bollywood takes beauty, brains, and a certain X factor. And the camera must love you unconditionally in every type of ambience. Let me look at you, he said, as he gently moved her head from right to left, trying to act professional. Makar was gauging his prey even as he was trying to give gyan. It is an importunate, pertinacious occupation that demands that one be on one's A game at all time. One can never predict how one's movie will do 6 to 9 months down the road. Viewers are never sated, can be fickle, even exigent. One must develop an ESP, an extrasensory perception, and must be able to converse telepathically, not just with one's co-stars, but also with the audience.
Okay.
This is the
Yeah.
So there are characters like this who speak very highfalutin English, hoping to impress the other side. I mean, if you're getting impressed, this language is only skin deep. There is much more to a person than that. Please don't fall for all these things. I mean, some of the most brilliant people I have interacted with, they're not great speakers of English. The grammar is just there. But what they are saying, you will understand. No, not a problem.
Precisely. See, let's take Abdul Kalam. His English was not a Queen's English or, flabbergasting language or the type of vocabulary that he would use. But he is one of the greatest scientists India could ever, bring up, right? I think, I want to leave it at that. Of course, comment by Amit Shah ji was misunderstood. He said he wanted to say that Indian language will rule the world, but the way it was communicated was wrong, and the way it was communicated and understood and projected by the media was wrong. But nevertheless, we leave that controversy for it to evolve.
Next one is Tamil Nadu political chaos. Sir, DMK does not like it if you bring up Murugan, sir. There is a Murugan Manadu in 2 days' time on the 22nd, viewers. Today is 21st in India, right?
Yeah.
So tomorrow. And yesterday, there was a meeting of sorts on the grounds. Looks like 1 lakh people turned up. What was the event yesterday? Hindu Munnani started it. My good friend Arjun Sampath, I think he's the leader now because Rama Gopalan is no more. I think so. I'm not 100% sure who's running it, sir.
He's sort of co-host. One can say Hindu Makkal Kachi is a co-host. All the Sangh Parivar, Hindu Munnani is still Kadeshwara Ravji is still the lead there. I think Arjun Sampath is only a co-host in this event, and he is also spearheading a lot of this. And unimaginable crowd. This government is trying all its might to undermine this. Last week, we talked about Thangam Tennarasu, but it was Mano Thangaraj. So actually, we made a wrong connotation of the statement made by Mano Thangaraj, who actually said that people who are going in lakhs and thousands to the temple are all uncultured and uncivilized, was the word that he used. I think we throughout the show somewhere we caught on Thangam Tennarasu, and then we kept on talking about it, and then later on realized it after the show. So, and we could not do a last week's show because of my doctor's appointment, and hence I could have clarified that. So now I got an opportunity. So the question is, and Shekhar Babu comes and says that this is only a political meeting and nothing to do with the religion or nothing to do with the belief system. And all of a sudden, the spent force actor Amir comes up and then says, we don't have any problem with Lord Muruga, but we have problem with people who are politicizing this event. I think government is getting rattled, especially DMK DK ecosystem is getting rattled by this arrangement. Is it going to give a huge popularity for BJP or anything? I think I leave it that it is not going to have a big political mileage. But everybody from the D ecosystem has been claiming that it is a 𝗍𝗓𝗏 land is getting, people are showing a mirror to them saying that no, this is, we are God believers. We believe in God. We believe in culture. We believe in all our, deities and our religion. I think that's a mirror that is being shown. And every time Hindu Munani, the organizers had to go to the court to get the bans or restrictions lifted. For example, government issued a restriction saying that, if anybody is going by the vehicle, then they need to get a permit for going for this event. And High Court Madurai bench ruled saying that, you cannot put such restrictions. And a couple of days earlier, there was a skirmish between communists and some of the people. And I feel that it is a stage managed one, provocation that was stage managed, because they will go to court again. Police will issue restrictions saying that movement of people, or even to the extent of 144, they dare not issue 144 at this point in time. But to an extent that they will create some problem of people coming in masses, and then show this saying that there is a communal tension being propagated by the organizers or people who are coming as if they are the devotees of Muruga coming there or creating this problem, and then show to the court. I think they try all possible cards in their hand to prevent people from going. I anticipate minimum 5 lakh people would be there. It was a huge surprise yesterday. There was not a major event as such, in my opinion, or starting event or something. There was a huge surprise. Already a lakh of people assembled in Madurai for this, right? And Uttar Pradesh CM Yogi Adityanath ji is coming. Pawan Kalyan ji is coming. Deputy CM of Andhra is coming, and he is going to talk in Tamil. That's where people will get right. The moment he goes, firing from all his barrels, I think that's going to change. I think Pawan Kalyan is setting himself for a political narrative in Tamil Nadu. He's very fluent in Telugu, of course. When he goes and talks about it, his speech is very vibrant, and he is getting trained to speak in Tamil. I know, he's going to speak in Tamil, and he's going to talk about a lot of things. And he's going to speak in Tamil in that event. I think that's going to be a very powerful message that is going to come up on 22nd, and all eyes are on that event, sir. Whether this is going to create a major churn in Tamil Nadu with respect to Tamil Nadu politics, may be a starting point. 2019 election. During the run-up to the 2019 election, there was a Veil Yatra done by then President Murugan, because of this someone abused Kandasashti Kavasam, and government failed to take action initially, and then later on they arrested. But I know they were let go of, not major case against them. But that created, in spite of the COVID restrictions, it created lots and lots of traction. But that time, ADMK was in power, and then they had to arrest several times. They had to arrest Muruganji or the organizers, and then let them go the same evening because of COVID restrictions and because of a lot of pressure. And this time also, ADMK is not coming out in big support for this event, but they are just staying on the at the fence, and then watching the events unfolding. But it is definitely going to be a political event. Let me say that it is, of course, a religious event. It is, of course, the devotees of Muruga coming in there. It's a god of the land, and then people are coming there, and definitely it's a political platform. I have no doubt that politics will not be discussed in this. Of course, to uphold Sanatana Dharma, the politics have to come into play to uphold Sanatana Dharma, I think that is what is going to be discussed in this event, and then let's all pray that this event goes successfully.
Thank you so much, sir. And in passing, before we go to questions, one small observation from remark from you, sir. This Maran versus Maran, and also all the other things that are happening. Like for example, I'm going to show. I'll read the first question for you. While you are answering it, I have to fetch a video, and I'm going to show the kind of caliber some of the DMK partners are. I'm going to show you a video. Just take a look at that, sir. Question is the Maran versus Maran also a diversion created to try and divert people's attention away from the Murugan Manadu?
So one thing is for sure that Maran versus Maran is a huge diversionary tactic, for no doubt about it. But the scathing remarks by Dayanidhi Maran and Kalanidhi Maran, would the government DMK go to that level, stoop to that level? I think I doubt to an extent, but definitely it is a diversionary tactics, no doubt about it. At this point in time, it is nothing to do with Murugan Manadu, but it is lot more to do with the 2026 and etc. put together. The thing is, 2003 onwards, there have been a lot of violation that has been happening, and can there be a because they talk about money laundering, very skillfully used the word money laundering in the legal notice that was sent in, and ED cannot just like that jump in, because for the sake of viewers, I want to say that because I did tweet about it, and then someone asked me the question, why is ED can't come step in before other agencies start investigating on it, because unless and otherwise, according to PMLA, unless there is a strong evidence in hand that there has been a money laundering committed by the people whom they are filing an FIR or the case history here under PMLA, unless otherwise there is a very strong evidence already collected, ED cannot file a case against a person. Whereas if there is a predicate offense already filed, then ED can use that predicate offense to file a case against any individual or an entity. I think that's a rule of law as per PMLA, and hence someone says that there is a money laundering, then ED cannot just like that come in, do a raid, do all the documentary check to find out if there was a money laundering. That is prohibited by the code, by PMLA Act. So, and hence they need to go to the financial intelligence unit of finance ministry has to come in, company law board has to investigate whether there has been fraud committed. SEBI has to investigate, because whether the as per the notice, even before the senior Maran died, the transfers have the transfer of shares had been done using the clout that Kalanidhi Maran had within the board and others, company secretary, etc. So the question is, SEBI has to come in and then say, was there any misappropriation, or was there any crime committed by them? Once there is a predicate offense, then ED can come in and then do all sort of. But this is going to be a long drawn civil case. It is not even a criminal case, in the court of law. Dayanidhi Maran issued a legal notice. Kalanidhi Maran can rebut with his own legal statement, or keep quiet, and then Dayanidhi Maran goes to the court and then files a case. It's going to be a very long drawn civil case in this case, unless otherwise there is a fraud committed is proved, where government agencies will come in. Otherwise it becomes a family feud, and I think that is where it is going to be. And hence, and then in between they will actually find a mid ground and then do their own truce, like what they did. DMK threw away Marans in 2007, and 2009 they joined hands again. So someone will mediate between them, and then everything will be down. So there is nothing political about it to rejoice and everything, but at least some sort of talking point. I'm sure media is not going to talk about it in Tamil Nadu, about this particular incident.
Thank you so much, sir. Now let's take a few questions.
Yeah.
Before we go to the questions, this is the statement made by Dhanadi Maran that he'll approach SFIO, SEBI, SEBI, and ED. And our editor Sachin says ED can still come. It depends upon, I guess, what the case is. Let's leave it at that. If ED does enter, they will know what they are doing. Sir, if you could play the video, please. Mute the audio, please. Sir, look at this.
Yeah.
Okay, we can stop now. I don't know what to tell. Okay, he has gone to a masjid now. Let's continue now.
Yeah, he wears a skull cap there.
We should zoom in closely. It might be halal water. So, viewers, this rascal his name is 𝗬𝗏𝗏. He is the head of VCK. We'll talk more about it in the Tamil version of this hangout. And he actually represents one of the holiest places in Tamil Nadu, Chidambaram.
Yeah.
And he won by a whisker in 2019. And now he has managed his vote bank. He has probably got... I tell you, sir, the first cleanup needs to happen in the Tamil Nadu's election machinery department. Without that, I'm telling you, I have my own huge suspicions there, Sriramji. You can agree with me, disagree with me. That needs to be thrown out, lock, stock, and barrel. Like, for example, in WB, West Bengal, they're doing that. The chief election commissioner has himself been thrown out. And the person that Mamata hated is now the election commissioner. Do whatever you want. Right?
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, Amit Shah needs to look at that also. He'll need to do these things from both sides. Sir, let's take some questions now.
Sure.
And another thing about Mr. Tiruma is everybody swears that he is Christian now, but he claims himself to be an SC, and that is a scheduled constituency for this election. I find ironical that the law doesn't apply to some. That's why this is Madurai temple, Madurai Meenakshi temple probably. The Sundareswarar is probably where he went because you can see the vibhuti on his forehead. So for that, he's a Hindu. For election purposes, he's a Hindu. But actually, people have said that this guy is also trying to take control of many churches because that's where a lot of money is. So the traditional Christian community also is fighting it finding it very, very difficult with these neo-converts.
Yeah.
So it's all money, viewers. It's got nothing to do with religion. It's got nothing to do with conversion. It's got nothing to do with any kind of, hatred towards one and love towards another thing. It's all just money. That's all it is. So let's go to questions now. SK Digital wants to know, Namaskaram sirs, lately it seems the opposition is focusing on trivial matters and constantly questioning the government. What's your take on this, sir?
So SK Digital definitely, see, this is where trivial matters keeps on, see, everybody is going to make some error or the other, or, misstatements or misunderstood statements, etc. So pick up that, blow it out of proportion, try to pollute the minds. So 10 small trivial issues will create a doubt in someone's mind. So the first portion of I expose 5 lies. But if I take from Operation Sindoor onwards, probably, we need 2-3 shows, 2-3 more hangouts to express all those lies and then, bust the fake news that is being peddled by Congress. The 0.5 front. I've used that 0.5 front because India has a 3.5 front enemies. 3 front is from the outside, Bangladesh, Pakistan and China. The 0.5 is within India. Actually, who support that India should fail. I think that is where these are the 0.5 front who will keep on creating small trivial issues. 100 trivial issues put together will look like a huge issue. I think it's a psychological way of polluting the mind and then creating a narrative, and a lot of people will believe that because these trivial issues will not be countered by party or the government, because it's a small issue, leave it, because it may not even come to their radar. So that is how they keep polluting the mind. It's been happening for last hundreds of years, but so on this particular government in the last 10 years. Yes, sir. Next question.
Manoj wants to know one solid reason why the opposition parties are taking a solid stand for Hindus. Just because of vote bank or any Western interest to change cultural base of Bharat, that is Hindus. Why against or for? I'm confused.
I think he's talking for, not against, because see, a lot of times, if you look at some of the minus Congress, at least, wears the cap when it suits them. Rahul Gandhi, during a UP election or a Madhya Pradesh election, will be a Janudari Brahmin, do a temple run, and then afterwards he will not, do that. But nevertheless, Tamil Nadu, at least, people don't stand for Hindus. West Bengal doesn't stand for Hindus, for that matter. Some portions where there is a, say, for example, Hindi heartland, they show that they are standing for Hindus. Arvind Kejriwal will play that he will chant Hanuman Chalisa because he knows that will get him votes. People did fall for it in 2018-19 time frames when he won with a 67 seats in the Delhi Assembly. So I think depending, mostly it is a vote bank that captures them. But only thing is, RSS backed party, which is BJP, in some other areas, other small parties, where there is a, ideologically it is Hindutva. I think that is a natural choice that the party has. Of course, the Hindutva doesn't mean hate other religion. Hindutva is a way of life. It's a cultural way of life of India. And then that is where they stand with. So, mostly I don't see that politicians, weigh in based on the situation. Tamil Nadu for sure, and Kerala, for that matter, people don't stand up for Hindus at all, because the minorities are majority there, both Christians and Muslims put together, as a vote block.
Pawan Kishore wants to know, after alliance with ADMK, NDA got some boost back again in TN, but what happened now? Why? What happened to their momentum? Looks like they went silent again. Any uneasiness among them?
No, I don't think so. Any uneasiness. Probably, we'll also talk about this at length in Tamil Hangout, but I'll spend 30 seconds to say this. ADMK will not break ties with NDA. There is a huge rumor that is coming up that ADMK will back out from NDA and then form its own alliance. It will not. I'll explain that at length in the Tamil Hangout, in few minutes time. But what is happening is the ground level connections are being done. Say Nayanar Nagendran is visiting every district. There are 67 districts, administrative districts within BJP in Tamil Nadu. So he is visiting every district and then trying to connect the dots between ADMK leadership and BJP leadership. There are many areas many places where the office bearers are being, changed, or so that, there is a little bit of momentum that keeps happening. Nevertheless, the momentum is not there. See, when Annamalai was the president, there used to be at least a 1 or 2 press conference, if not daily at least 1 or 2 in a week, which kept them, it was a, what do you call? Everybody knew that, he was talking about it, at least social media was buzzing about it and all. But here there are some actions that are happening silently on the ground, which is not getting propagated. Nayanar Nagendran is not a, social media person. Nayanar Nagendran is not a, press media person where he meets them and then keeps talking about it. Nor ADMK. ADMK's the weakest area is their social media. They don't even exist, according to me. There are, at least the moment there is a accusation on Edappadi, the IT wing woke up and then, created some amount of noise. After that, they went back to their sleep. ADMK IT wing or the social media presence is very minuscule. They don't even exist, in my opinion. I think that is where you don't see the momentum, but some actions are being definitely taken on the ground, and no doubt about it that momentum has to happen. 𝗥𝗡𝗙𝗿 needs to speak a lot. 𝗥𝗡𝗙 needs to go to the places, tour. Nainar Nagendran must tour a lot of places. People need to show that there is action happening. I think that is missing for sure. They need to show that there are actions happening, and that hopefully the leaders will realize and then start working on it.
Sir, last two questions, and let's keep it brief, so that way we'll have a 5-minute break before we come back for Tamil, sir.
Sure.
Bharat Ratnam wants to know, when was Modi invited? Was it not at the last moment? Why was there so much delay in the invitation? Who has objected? Who has pressed for invitation?
So I don't think it was a last moment. I think the invitation happened at an appropriate time. Okay, and in foreign policy matters, I think it is. I don't think anybody can pressurize to get invited. That way, you will look. You will be ignored in that meeting the moment you are, invited. Look at the way the world leaders reacted with Modi. Giorgia Meloni was, I think the internet was buzzed with so many memes the way they were talking. And Macron and Modi, he even took a jibe at Trump by saying that you are now fighting on the Twitter more, right? So I think the invitation was at the appropriate moment, in my opinion. I don't think anybody could have objected, for his invitation, for India's invitation. Yeah, India is not a G7 country as such. Thanks for pointing it out.
Yeah. Suresh Kumar wants to know, again, this was Urtal from Congress, sir. They wanted to try and poke something, and that's why they started, why is he not going to G7 and things like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Suresh Kumar wants to know, Sriramji, what is the future of intellectuals in Congress? I am reminded of PTR, who is being disrespected these days by the DMK. PTR is not an intellectual. He is an erudite person.
See, because he is in DMK, he becomes an intellectual for sure, right? Because
this is close observation about Kamal Hassan, an actor among intellectuals and an intellectual among actors.
Intellectual among the actors, yeah, that's right. See, intellectuals in Congress will either have to toe their lines and then lower their intelligence to suit their leader Rahul Gandhi to survive, or they step out. Anand Sharma, Ghulam Nabi Azad, Salman Khurshid of the world, they distance themselves a lot. 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗿, I wouldn't say he's an intellectual, but at least he projects himself. He left Congress and then joined Samajwadi Party. People like Jairam Ramesh and all, are surviving. They are lowered their standards so that, they are able to survive. So I think, they will step aside. In fact, look at, I would say Chidambaram is in that league. Okay, where he uses his intelligence is different.
He's an evil genius, sir. You have to look at the genius part also.
No, we need to look at the genius part. That's what I'm saying. How he uses is different, but he is an intellectual, and Karthi Chidambaram is an intellectual. I know for sure that some of the things that he brings up in the parliament are brilliant questions. But the question is that they are getting sidelined because the leadership doesn't like intellectual people who are more intelligent than them. I think they need to step aside, and then they will be ignored for sure.
And that brings us to a close of today's program, and we'll be back again next Saturday same time. And now come back and join us for the Tamil segment. Namaskaram, sir. We'll see you very soon.
Namaskaram. Sure.